Aloha, welcome back to the channel. This is the Hopi living in the city morning commute, and we are looking at a coolish 63 degrees here. It's a little after 5:35. I was up I was getting ready. Well, actually, I was kicking back around 45 minutes before I had to leave. I don't know where time went. I packed my lunch, got me some other stuff, some snacks, and then warmed the truck. Oh, I went to drive and look at the parking lots. But yeah, it's a nice day. It is a little bit more traffic than usual, but that's okay. We're not in any hurry, and I need to get some coffee somewhere. I thought about stopping over here at this station over here. I can't remember where they have Randy's Donuts, but Randy's doesn't open till like 6, and I don't know what their regular store coffee's like. So, and I didn't bring me any breakfast sandwiches or anything. So I am going to just go with the flow, and I'm not sure what coffee I like to get away from the house, outside of the house. Man, look at all these guys' ladders. They probably need drywall, huh? Just says construction. There was a inquiry from someone locally looking for recommendations on roofers in the Flagstaff area. I guess maybe he has a contracting company and he's trying to look for someone to sub out maybe a job to. So if you guys know any roofers in the Flagstaff area, be sure to comment below. We have a couple projects dealing with roofing out on the Hopi Nation as well. One is there's a shed that I took measurements of, and I put it in the, I guess, spec sheet for Bunger steel, and they quoted around $1,100 for the steel roofing to go over the existing like asphalt shingle type of roof, and I need to get a similar quote for the 2-bedroom. I need to go up there next time I'm out there and draw up some specs. If you ask Bunger for some information, they'll usually give you a spec sheet on what your project looks like and any kind of details that are needed in order to work up a quote for you. And it's good to know what the pitch is on your roof. So I need to get that information. Well, you can calculate it just based on your measurements, but I'll ask to see if my buddy up there knows. Yeah, so I reached out I gave him the information for the local trust company up there by Winona. When you're going from Loop to Winona, there's a trust company there by that recycling plant. Excuse me. They are very useful as well. They have a designer in house that'll work with you on what your project consists of and what your, I guess, desired outcome is, and then they'll work up a quote for you. So yeah, let's see what's happening on the news today in the traffic.
This comes after Chemical agreed to store petroleum in a facility in Surprise last August. After gaining more than 350 points at the close yesterday, Dow right now, the futures-wise, is down 56. S&P's down 10.5. NASDAQ futures down 67 points. For more money news, visit the Business Center at KTAR.com. KTAR. news flash.
And at 5:43, this is what you need to know right now. Arizona gas prices could be dropping soon. State Senate President Warren Peterson says he got a waiver from EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin during his trip to D.C. last week. Peterson says he also asked Zeldin to undo former President Biden's executive orders protecting land near the Grand Canyon from mining.
President Trump is saying he's set to speak on the phone with Russian President Vladimir Putin today about a ceasefire in Ukraine. Trump has said the peace talks will involve dividing land and other assets.
It's kitten season, so the Arizona Humane Society would like you to temporarily foster some kittens. Go to azhumane.org/foster to save a kitten. All of our top stories are just 15 minutes away. For more news, go to ktar.com or the KTAR News app.
And here he is again, John Roller, with a quick update from the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
3 spots of slow and go coming in on the eastbound I-10, Jim, right at the 101. That will slow you down all the way over to about 67th Avenue. You'll reload again at 51st Avenue, slow and go right on through the stack into downtown Phoenix. Southbound I-17, northern down to Thomas. That is your point A, northern, and your point B is Thomas for your slowing. And one surface street crash this morning, School Road and Baseline. Traffic is brought to you by Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax. Join Stuart Willis for the Asset Preservation Hour each week as he and
most Apache employees.
My father was a miner. When I was in school, he came home, talked about work, showed me pictures, and that's when I kind of knew what I wanted to do.
Dude doesn't mind his dimly lit 15-minute commute to the bottom, with the clanging cage moving about 500 feet a minute. The rattling metal drowns out the stillness while descending into total darkness.
It's a different world, really. It's nothing but rock all around you.
Industrial fans churn as warm water drips from an aquifer punctured by the mine shaft. This is where Dude spends his time working. 12-hour shifts, 4 days a week, thousands of feet underneath.
The very first time was a little scary, not gonna lie, but coming here you have to not be afraid, or else your mind's locked onto like the danger zones and critical risks that can kill you.
But this Resolution Copper ad underscores the need for this essential metal.
It's in every wind turbine, every solar panel, and every electric vehicle. American copper. Meeting the demand for this essential element by sustainably sourcing it at home. It's here, it's ready, and it's how we'll power our clean energy future.
Resolution Copper says the size of this particular ore body is extraordinary, believing this single deposit can yield 40 billion pounds of copper, meeting a fourth of the nation's annual demand.
Maybe not everything needs to be developed, but this one makes sense.
Back above ground, Resolution Copper President and General Manager Vicky Pesce calls it a generational opportunity.
It is a 60-year project, right? At a minimum with 10 years of construction, 40 years of production, and then 10 years of closure. But in reality, it could go much, much longer than that.
That timeline, in part, depends on whether the project is in fact approved. In 2019, the first Trump administration issued a final environmental impact statement a year ahead of schedule, just days before Joe Biden took office. But the Biden administration withdrew it in 2021 to continue tribal consultation. Production cannot begin until that's resolved.
Superior's been waiting a very long time.
That's Superior Mayor Mila Bisic. The town of 3,000 borders the mine and stands to reap its benefits.
And we still don't have this buttoned up, but we've been through this very painstakingly arduous process.
Resolution Copper has spent over $2 billion permitting and developing the project. Superior and the neighboring towns of Miami, Kearney, and Globe are counting on this huge gamble paying off after the magma mine shuttered in 1982 due to falling copper prices worldwide.
So we've got about 350 people today. 90% of our workforce comes from the San Carlos Apache tribe to the town of Superior and everywhere in between.
At full production, Resolution Copper plans to employ 1,500 workers, generate $270 million in yearly wages, plus cost $300 million in annual state, federal, and local tax revenue. For now, the estimated 1.4 billion metric ton ore body, worth about $200 billion by today's copper market price, remains out of reach by merely a mile and a half.
It's not so much the weight, it's just the opportunity that is sitting there right at our fingertips.
But for DeAndre Dude and hundreds more who've been with Resolution Copper for the last decade, they may never see this mine fully in operation.
I'll be here once we start pulling out some of that rock.
For KJZZ News, I'm Gabriel Pietrazio reporting from the number 10 mine shaft.
And tomorrow we will hear how this massive mine could have massive impacts on the water and the land of Oak Flat and beyond. As the series continues here on 91.5.
KJZZ is
The Congress can declare war, or an invasion by a foreign nation or government. And the administration is trying to argue in its court filings that Tren de Aragua is sort of a stand-in for the Venezuelan government. Is it? We'll see.
Are we looking at potentially a showdown between the two branches of government, the judicial and the executive?
It's very possible. Look, to hear the rhetoric coming from the White House is very strongly saying that the president has this power that can't be questioned. That he is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and no federal judge should be able to tell the president how to move troops, or how to use a drone, or how to deport migrants. The judges see it differently, and that ultimately this may have to be settled by the Supreme Court.
All right, thanks a lot. Once again, that is ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy joining us from Washington. And coming up on Arizona's Morning News, Canadians not liking Trump administration policies, so they're taking their wallets elsewhere.
That could hurt. First, John Roller live in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
All right, LaDonna, right now seeing some stop and go slowing right at the confluence. Grand Avenue coming into town right there at Indian School Road and 35th Avenue. Pretty normal this time of morning. Also, 3 spots of stop and go on the eastbound I-10. One right at the 101 Alafria transition. Then again at the 202 South Mountain transition into downtown Phoenix. Gets a little heavier there at the stack right now, about 18 minutes from the 101 into downtown Phoenix. Southbound I-17 northern down to Indian School Road. That is your slowing, and you'll reload again south of the stack through the Durango curve on over to the split. And right now, one surface street crash. It's in the clearing stages in Mesa on the School Road and Baseline. John Roller, KTAR News.
Mostly sunny and breezy today. Our high 71, a low tonight of 54 with a clear sky, and sunny 74 tomorrow's forecast. Your weather is brought to you by Howard Air and Plumbing. Weather replace or repair, call Howard Air and Plumbing.
This is Sanderson Ford Country. Howdy, everybody. This rodeo announcer Doug.
Today, lessons from a carnival of economics.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by certified financial planner professionals. CFP professionals are committed to acting in their clients' best interest. Learn more about CFP professionals at letsmakeaplan.org.
I'm David Brancaccio. Here's the assignment I got. A business reporter goes to the rodeo. It's part of our series on what we can learn from face-to-face markets in a world where so much commerce has gone remote and digital. What's advertised as the biggest livestock show and rodeo in the world is going on in Texas right now. It's called Rodeo Houston, where lessons on the marketplace play out in many arenas. I say rodeo, you think, yeehaw. And from the other night here at the rodeo. But what I find here is not just a single vibe. Houston rapper of legend, Bun B, celebrating his birthday with 75,000 of his closest friends on the 4th night here. Again, at this livestock show and rodeo.
People always think of, cowboys, country music, this and that.
Okay, everyone, thank you for joining me for this ride. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to tell your loved ones how much you appreciate them. Give them a hug if you get a chance. And let's make the most of this day. Talk to you later.